Yeah, I want to talk about what was going on, where I was, why I was gone. It's not going to be a very long story, but I feel like some clarity should be brought. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose all the details because some of that stuff has to stay internal. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been asking and wondering where I was. I've seen lots of posts, especially on Reddit, wondering where I was. I'm sorry I was gone for so long. It almost brought a tear to my eye as well, seeing many people be concerned about me, hoping for my return. And today, indeed, is my return. Yeah, it was in March when I left for a short period. And of course, the big question is why? Why? What was going on? What was going on? Where'd you go? And, well, I'm going to tell you now. There were a couple of things that came together, but I guess I'm going to go chronologically here because that's what makes the most sense. Yeah, in March, I basically said that I had to take a break. I had to stop with casting and commentating here on Back to Warcraft for a while. And the reason was that internally things got very difficult at Back to Warcraft. So between Neo and me, it's not like we had a falling out or any kind of bad blood, but the work environment was getting really difficult, especially communication. Communication between Neo and me was getting very tough to have any kind of cooperation in any way. I was trying to reach out a lot, and my reaching out was very often not responded to. There were also some other administrative issues internally at Back to Warcraft that I was very displeased with, and I voiced my concern and displeasure a number of times, but I was not satisfied with the response that I was getting. And so at some point I just said, okay, this is not working at the moment, and I now have to take a drastic step and take a break effective immediately. That was in March. Shortly after, communication between Neo and me did get better, although there were still some issues that had to be resolved, and it wasn't everything fixed right away. And we were trying to work on it, and things really got better significantly, quite quickly, actually, upon me, announcing and taking my break. But then something else happened at the same time where I was already stressed, and out of the blue, I got sued. A suit was filed against me by a very good friend of the family. He's not technically family, we're not related, but basically we are. He was my father figure growing up, pretty much. He is now 79 years old, and my mom was a single mom, right? So she very often didn't have time to raise me during, work days. So I would spend my time with my grandma, with my aunt, with my mom, split between, and also a lot of time with this person who had become a great friend of the family, who would then become my main father figure growing up. And for years, decades, I knew him since the moment I was born, and he started taking care of me. He was a really good substitute parent, you could say. And we had a great relationship all the time. And basically, a couple of years ago, he decided to, since he doesn't have children of his own, he decided to inherit many of the things that he has to me, or by German law, not do it through an inheritance, but through I don't know what it's called legally in English, but a gift, basically. He gifted me his house, to be precise. And that was all supposed to be under wraps, and everything was secured, and everything, there was no issue. However, a couple of weeks ago, or 2 months ago, I guess, then I saw in this lawsuit that his venomous wife convinced him to sign documents at the lawyer's office, which he didn't even really fully understand. He's 79 years old now, and he's starting to decline cognitively, unfortunately. But yeah, she made him sign something to sue me over the house, basically. And this came at the cost of lots and lots of money in lawyers' fees. I had to get a lawyer, consult with lawyers, drive down there, about 150 miles away is where he lives, and had to deal with a lot of legal hassle, which came at the worst timing, where I also was having this little crisis with Back to Warcraft. But yeah, this ended up being much more of a problem than the Back to Warcraft internal issues, which we were quickly on the way of resolving. And the lawsuit proved to be very complicated because in Germany, legally speaking, as the wife or husband, you have quite a few rights in a lawsuit. For example, she was able to change lawyers without his signature, without his approval, without his knowledge even. And basically, she was trying to steer this lawsuit that neither he nor I wanted. And I was then trapped in a very toxic relationship, I guess, between her and me and him. She also treats him horribly. She's just really bad person. And I was feeling very panicked, extremely stressed over the course of these couple of weeks. And there was, a lot of danger of me having to pay a huge amount of money, going into debt, going into financial ruin. So it was a very stressful time. However, I always had the hope that this could all be averted because we have this extremely close relationship, he and I, and technically, again, because he signed the paper that she told him to sign, this was a lawsuit in his name against me. So I always had the hope that once he can see reason again, he can just drop the lawsuit and everything can be over and none of this nonsense needs to happen. But she had his claws in him and was trying to force him to go through with this. It took me many weeks to finally make him see reason again and finally show to him that she was being very, very false and evil. But good news, about 1 or 2 weeks ago, he finally was able to see the truth for what it was, that she was being so toxic and terrible. And he was finally convinced himself that the only right thing moving forward would be to drop the lawsuit. So the lawsuit has been dropped. Thankfully, a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And not just stress has been removed from me, but also now I have time again to not just drive around and speak to lawyers and be panicking. But now I am, I am in a good position now. There is a slight danger that this lawsuit might be just restarted again. That's something that you can always do as long as you have the will and the money. But for now, it has been averted. So that's the good news. Yeah, so it was 2 things basically coming together. Some internal problems at Back to Warcraft and then this lawsuit. But now I am in a much better position. I'm feeling much better. And it seems to me that things are going to get better. Fingers crossed.